So it's been a few weeks since our last update, so welcome along for this edition. I'm going to talk you through everything we've been up to. So this was a first for Royal Cinque Ports. We've had a company called ALS, Amenity Land Services, that have come in to hollow core our fairways. So we've cored them at 35mm centres and taken a couple of inches out. And basically we're using these cores to grow new grass in the fairways. By doing this, we will replicate the exact same sward species as what we already have in the rest of the fairways, and hopefully do it in a good time so it's open for next spring. As you can see here, we've been already cored. We have a Cissus littomizer which is brushing up the cores and putting them in a pile at the side of the fairway. Then we'd come along afterwards and pick them up, and then we'd distribute them ourselves. Quite a difficult terrain to core and pick up as it's so undulating. So here we have the Royal Cinque Ports green staff with our Charterhouse top dresser, which we're putting out the cores and lines. We didn't want to put the cores through the spinners because we wanted to try and keep as much of the core intact as possible and not smash it up, and to give it the best possible start. So it took a little bit longer to do it this way, but we feel we get a really good covering of about an inch when compacted down, and that'll give us a great start. Here we can also see Andy from Abbott's testing out the water after he's just installed the new heads and the cable work. We've got just shy of a hectare worth of new fairway to cover, with having to hollow core around 13 hectares of fairway to do so. So it's really remarkable at how much material you actually need to cover this area, and it gave us a bit of a shock. Looking down from the top now, you can see our new sandy waste areas on 17 and 5 looking pretty nice, and the new fairway on the left hand side, we were pretty much 80% finished coverage there. So after the cores were raked out, they were seeded with 20 grams of fescue, and the roughs roundabout were spun out some natural soil top dressing that was screened on site, and then they're tracked in, and there's also been a 696 pre-seed fertiliser before all of that goes down first. Here we see the start of the 16th fairway with the new bunkers left and right. They've just been finished. They look fantastic. So first golf, I've also been working on finishing off the tee tops. So we have got 5 tees in total to finish. So here we can see Frank, who is putting the finishing touches to the path of the topsoil. It's also topsoil that we've found on site to save buying any in, which saved us a great deal of money. You can see, looking on the right hand side of the bucket, is laser level that's making the tee perfectly flat. And now flying up the third hole, you can see we have more or less finished turfing the path on the right hand side. The turf has been farmed from the old kids course before it gets stripped to build a new practice area. You can see there's a slight green tinge now to the fairway after the cores have been down a week, but we're expecting that to kind of turn quite a bit this week. It's getting watered regularly to keep the cores moist, and hopefully the new fescue seed will pop. So getting a little bit cocky here with my drone flying. I don't have my wings yet, I'm not the best, but you can see almost taking out Chris there. This is the new back tee at 2, which we decided to upgrade, and Raf is on with the laser attached to the bucket there again on the left hand side. The tee measures 7 by 10 metres, and it's a metre off the ground as well, which gives you a cracking view right down the fairway. You'll see the drone should pan up in a second, and you get a look down the fairway. And by getting that height, we can see where all the bunkers are, and it's more of an inviting tee shot. This winter we plan to take the red blaze path out as well, so we'll have a more consistent look round the whole course with grass paths. And there's Raf. So here we have the second tee on the 7th of October with the translocated banking, just to be tough now. Another exciting project this year was to build a path up to the 9th black tee. In previous years, people just clamber up the bank, and it's not a great look when you look down the 8th when you see a track worn up the back. The green staff would also like to have a path to access the top tees and the seawall. So thick slabs of turf will be translocated onto the side of the bankings, just like the T bankings and the bunkers, and the top will be laid with root zone. The path will also be irrigated. Here we can see on the Sunday the 7th the finished article, just left to be turfed and irrigated, but these slabs will grow in no problem and will make the path look like it's been there for years, pretty much like everything else First Golf have done for us. So one of the last projects to finish off was to build a rough edge bunker at the left hand side of the 10th fairway. This year we cut out an area beyond that as fairway for anyone that would take on this bunker that would be rewarded with a nice tight lie that they could most probably put up the banking to the green. The bunker before was a revetted bunker. We've taken that away. It was on the right hand side. We've pushed it right into the left where there was a grass bunker and made it one large one. Raf managed to do this in one day, and he's translocated some turf from the left hand side over to the banking on the right, and it looks fantastic from the tee. As you can see from the bunker raking style here, the edges will be flat raked and the middles will be teeth raked to ensure balls gather in the middle all the time. So while all this is going on, we have MJ Abbott's installing irrigation as well. Today we closed the 14th hole to ensure the contractors are kept safe, and you can see the guys installing the heads here. We're putting in two holes for each sprinkler, back to backs. One will do the green and one will do the approach. You can see the line of the old flags where the old pipe used to be, so you can see how much the green's really extended out, and we have all the equipment at the back of the green. So the line you can see here is basically where the mole plough ploughs through the cable. Very, very little disruption, and you can see how tidy a job Abbott's have done with the installation of the heads and the reinstallation of the turf. The guys are making great progress though. So we love to make these videos especially for our overseas members and members that don't get down to the club as much, to see all the changes. So we hope we're keeping you up to date, and we look forward to you coming across and seeing the changes for yourself in the spring.